friends, what's going on? It's your old friend Sean Pierce Johnson here, and welcome back to another episode of In the Details with Vola Guitars. Our subject today is the Vasti KJM, the new signature model for Kaspar Jalily. This is an absolute stunningly gorgeous guitar that is packed full of great tones, ready for you to call up at your whim. Let's get into the specifications and feature rundown so that we can get quickly to a plethora of different guitar sounds. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar, the Vasti can essentially be looked at as Vola's take on the classic T-style body shape. Of course, thanks to a lot of the curvature and contours in this model, it is decidedly not your grandpa's slab guitar. This thing is a very fast instrument for the modern guitarist. And Kaspar has elected to do a lot of really cool things to this body style template to make for quite possibly one of the most versatile guitars that I've played in a very long time. You're immediately going to notice two things about the KJM that set it apart from the rest of the T-style pack. And the first thing that my eye is drawn to is the F-hole on the body, because this is indeed a semi-hollow guitar. Then the second thing, the pickup selection. We have an Hss configuration, that's humbucker, single coil, and humbucker, providing you with a wealth of different guitar tones just from the electronics that are gonna make it easy to go from a soulful and singing lead tone to something a little bit more articulate for rock rhythm work, or even calling up beautiful glassy clean tones for ambient work, and even something a little bit spanky for funk. Now that we've pointed out the unique identifiers of the KJM, let's back up a little bit and talk about the materials of this instrument. First off, the body. It's an alder body, a very classic tone wood for this kind of instrument. Of course, being made semi-hollow means that you get a lot of the great qualities of alder, that snap, that articulation, and a very well-balanced tone, but that extra acoustical quality, that air movement in the body, I find sweetens the high end a little bit and maybe slows down the initial attack of your pick. It's a very interesting phenomenon that you really have to experience for yourself in order to really buy into, I guess you could say. This alder semi-hollow body is further complemented with a roasted maple neck, a very wonderful feeling roasted maple neck with a 12-inch fingerboard radius and Vola's modern C-shaped neck, fitting very comfortably in the hands and playing equally as well low down here for open position chords and bar chords, or nice and high up here on the upper register so that you can really get your shreddy leads going. The scale length is the classic 25.5 inches that we know for these kind of instruments, but we have 22 jumbo stainless steel frets. The body is finished in a beautiful satin white finish, which I enjoy for two very specific reasons. The first is I sweat profusely when I play live, and I often find that satin finish guitars have less tendency to stick to my skin on my forearm when the sweat really starts dripping down my arms. The second is a little less obvious, but it's for stuff like this, shooting videos. Satin finishes don't glare the lights that are pointed at me right now quite like gloss finishes, meaning that throughout this video, you're going to be able to see this guitar in all its glory without any glare. The satin white finish is then further complemented by gold hardware. We have a Godot 510 bridge right here and Godot locking tuners at the headstock. But there is one little cosmetic touch that you might not notice right off the bat, and that is the fact that Vola and Kaspar have elected to put white dot inlays on the roasted maple fingerboard. This is a really small detail and it doesn't stick out like some of the other ones, but to me it immediately makes me feel like everything on this guitar is tied together. There are little complements in the cosmetics that really tie things together and make it feel like a complete package. The roasted maple neck is bolted on with Vola's classic 4-bolt neck joint with a nice little carve on the lower cutaway so you can really get your hands up there for comfortable high fret access. Now, when I flipped it over, you may have noticed the absence of a tremolo or whammy bar cavity cover. Sorry, I have a thing about people calling whammy bars tremolo. This is something that I do to a lot of guitars that I have that have whammy bars on them. I remove the cavity cover because it's so cumbersome to get out a screwdriver, unscrew 6 screws in order to make adjustments to the springs and the block underneath the bridge. Another little subtle detail that I think really contributes to the tone is the thickness of the steel block underneath the Goto 510. I do find, especially with this guitar being semi-hollow, it does have more acoustic sustain thanks to this thicker trem block. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the KJM has an HSS pickup configuration, and all 3 of these pickups are designed and built by Vola. We have VHCs in the bridge and the neck position, and a VSI in the middle. We have a master volume control and a master tone control. But what's really cool are the 2 switches on the control plate. First, the small one, because it's going to be kind of obvious. It's a coil tap function for the outer humbuckers. So you can go ahead and take your bridge humbucker and turn it into a bridge single coil effectively. But what gets me is the actual pickup selector, because it's not your typical T-style 3-way. It's actually a 5-way blade selector, meaning you have the full typical S-type arrangement of pickup selection. So you can have a bridge pickup, bridge and middle, middle, middle and neck, neck, then you can coil tap it and get single coil tones. This is just an absolutely beautiful playing instrument with tons of versatility in the electronics to get us almost any kind of tone that we could possibly want from it. So why don't we go ahead and hear this thing? First, let's stick with just some basic, clean, and crunch tones. All pickup positions in full voice humbucker and with the coil taps. And there you have it, my friends, in the details with the Vasti KJM J1 Kaspar Jalily signature model from Vola Guitar. An absolute stunning instrument with tons of tonal versatility that plays like a dream. Something I'm growing to love more and more each and every day. If you want to find out more information on this model, you can visit Vola Guitar's website at volaguitar.com, and stay tuned for another episode of In the Details coming soon here on the Vola Guitar YouTube channel. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. I'm Sean Pierce Johnson, and we'll see you again real soon.